Talking at a public event in Dubai, the two-time heavyweight boxing champ Anthony Joshua explained that the choice to become a professional fighter is one of the hardest choices any athlete can make. It's one of the most challenging paths a person can choose, and it takes more than just dedication. It takes personal sacrifice, and that's not a life for everybody. But it's exactly the life for people like AJ.
I definitely make sacrifices, but all the sacrifices are at my own will. You know, no one's telling me to do anything I don't want to do because I'll be living their dream. I've got to want to do it myself. So luckily, I feel the discipline and all that type of boring stuff, discipline, focus, is based upon my own decisions. So I don't see it as a sacrifice sometimes. I just see it as something that needs to be done. And I feel like, you know, God's blessed me, and I've just used this position when I found boxing to its best capability. And it's just a blessing. No sacrifice, no issues. It's a blessing. I love it.
AJ's rise to the top of the boxing world was nothing short of meteoric. He went from Olympic gold to professional champion in less than 4 years, and he didn't stop there. A bout with the legend Vladimir Klitschko saw him unify 2 titles in AJ's 19th fight. A bout with Joseph Parker in his 21st fight saw him claim a 3rd title. He was just 1 belt away from the undisputed crown when he learned one of the hardest lessons in boxing.
Staying at the top, because what does it take to get to the top? That's the easy part. Staying there, yeah? That's the hustle. So staying there now is a whole nother category. And we're not talking about staying there for a year or 2. If you want to stay there for 5 years, 10 years, it takes a lot of that's when the sacrifice happens and stuff like that. So now is probably the time in my career where when I get back home, I've got to put in some real work and make sacrifices, but it's all good.
AJ's loss to Andy Ruiz was a setback not many champions, especially in the heavyweight division, have been able to overcome. In over 100 years, only 10 men have reclaimed a heavyweight title, and AJ became one of them. Regaining the title cemented AJ's place in history, and it might have been enough for some fighters, not AJ.
Fighter that always took on every and any challenge from the start. So I look at some of the other fighters and I look back at their career and I think, when did they grow a pair and start fighting people? They weren't always that brave. Everything we see of certain fighters today, look back at them, and that's why I don't believe what they talk about, because I've studied these guys. They're not true warriors. A true warrior is a warrior from the start. They're not built. And for me, I went straight in the deep end ever since I come in boxing. So I just want to be remembered for someone who was willing, a true warrior, and I fought everyone.
AJ's willingness to fight everyone at the top cost him the title a 2nd time. He accepted a fight with the undefeated former undisputed cruiserweight champion, Alexander Usyk, and things didn't go to plan. Usyk outboxed the champ for a unanimous decision, and AJ lost the title for a 2nd time. But the rematch was made, and the British superstar had his chance to make history again. So long as he changed his game plan, and AJ was willing to do that and more.
Let's focus on quality, you know what I'm saying? Let's focus on what's needed, and it has to come from the top down. I'm the last piece of the puzzle, I'm the last performance. So we're talking about game planning, mindset, brain training, sparring, our approach to sparring, what we're getting out of it. All of these things, dietary needs, sleep, recovery, mindset training in terms of what I'm listening to, not just musically, motivational speeches and stuff like that, because this is the biggest stage of my career, fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world.
Thanks for watching. And remember, if you want more fight sports in your life, just hit the subscribe button.